Kia Bia, where you at? Where you at? Kia Bia,
That's me.
Kia Bia,
That's me.
Kia Bia.
Yeah, that's me. What's up, Kia Bia Gang, and welcome to Zakia Chanel Podcast. This isn't just a regular podcast. It's a place where we can let down our guards and be our authentic selves. So let's talk about it. The real, the tough, and the funny conversations. At the end of each episode, I want you to walk away feeling better than you did at the start. All right, enough of me talking. Breathe in, breathe out. Now let's get into the episode. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Zakia Chanel Podcast with your favorite girl, Zakia Chanel, right here from the D. What's up, my Kia Bia Gang? Like, how y'all doing out there? And also, welcome to my new listeners, my new watchers. Thank you for joining the Kia Bia Gang, the best gang out there ever to be. So we're going to go ahead and get straight into this episode. Got a new one for you all for this week. Before we get started, cheers. Clink, clink, clink to this episode. This is not wine. This is actually sweet tea. I decided to, do a little something different. I want no wine today because I got stuff to do after this. And sometimes wine be making me sleepy, y'all. So we're going to cheers to, the sweet tea. So fun fact about me is I don't drink pop. So I literally just drink water. The only time I have for real juice or somewhat of a pop is if I'm drinking a liquor, a drink at a restaurant or something, or making my own drink at home. And yeah, it's I really don't even drink juice like that anymore. I used to, but no, not for real. The only thing that I really drink is a sweet tea, and that's if I'm really have a taste for it. I'll buy it. And I also drink Gatorade, orange juice, apple juice. That's really about it. So fun fact about me. Anyway, let's go ahead and get straight into this episode. So my praise break for this episode is what's my praise break, y'all? Okay, so I think my praise break for this episode would be my grandmother. Yes, my praise break is my grandmother. I'm just so thankful that she's still in my life, that she continues to just see me, her other grandchildren, her children, just continue to grow in life. I think that, it brings her joy, when we come over for our Sunday dinners. And it brings me joy, just being able to celebrate and just spend time, with my grandma. Just being able to spend any time with my grandmother is, really, really beautiful. And I've grown to really take, advantage and, just soak in those times when I'm able to just spend time with her. It don't have to even be doing anything, just sitting down at her house, whatever the case is. So I'm just thankful for my grandmother and her just still being here to see her beautiful, the best granddaughter. Sorry, y'all. Yes, her best, her favorite. Still, doing her thing. So anyway, praise break. Shout out to my grandma. You're the best, granny. All right. So let's see. My meme for the week, y'all. My meme for the week. Where's my phone? Okay. So my meme for this week is, here we go. Sometimes you don't hear from people because they are on a mission that requires all of their energy and attention. Don't take it personal. We all need isolation from time to time to grow. So that's crazy because Hannah was just on my episode last week and we literally was just talking about isolation. And honestly, I don't even know when I screenshotted this, but this was one of my last ones or whatever. But that just not only speaks to what we were discussing the last episode, but also just understanding like that I will want people to respect my space, my time when I need my solo time. And being able to just like grow and just needing my own space and not being able to really talk to anyone at that time, not because of a choice, but just because you need some self-care. Sometimes you just need to be by yourself. And so that's the same thing that I have to receive from other people. Also, like if I don't hear from someone, understanding that don't take it personal. Like you never know what the other person may be going through, and also vice versa. That person might not know what I'm going through. So sometimes just remembering not to take things personal. But if someone pops up in my head or someone's on my heart, reach out regardless if you feel some type of way because they haven't spoken to you or reached out to you. So anyway, that has nothing, well, I guess it doesn't have anything to do with this episode. We'll see. So today I wanted to talk about this bridge time in our life. So the bridge could be whatever, from one end to the next end. So hold on, let me take a sip. Yeah. That sweet tea, baby. That thing hit. Okay, so the bridge. I wanted to talk about that today because I feel like that is the space now that I'm in. Now that I have overcame the isolation stage or whatever, I feel like I'm at this bridge time where it was where I was before, and now I'm walking into what's on the other side of that bridge that God has for me. And I believe that a bridge is not a one-time thing in life. I believe that a bridge happens throughout your life, depending on the stage, your season that you're in. So I just believe that I am in that season right now where I am in this bridge of understanding that God is transforming me in ways that I have never expected. And because he's transforming me, it's taking me into new spaces that I've never knew that I could be in. And when I mean spaces, not just physical spaces as in like rooms or in front of people, but spaces far as just like my mindset, my spiritual growth, my relationship with him, like seeing things of him formally like changing me from the inside, and seeing how that changes also changed my outlook on things, and it also changed the way I move, the way I do things, all of that. So I feel like I'm in that stage now where it's in front of me, and God has made me through my isolation stage to become more aware of every little thing, which sometimes can be annoying because you don't want to like, sometimes, yes, the petty side of us don't want to see certain things because we want to be able to like have something to blame or um, point as a problem or a reason or something. And so, or sometimes like you don't want to see the obvious thing, or you don't want to see the truth of something. And so God has made me more aware of everything. And so because of that, I can see everything that's going on, not just like, not just like earthly things, but I can see things that people don't know that I can see even about them, or what they may be going through. So like that is a gift I believe that he has given me that I've had, but I was immature or just not prepared or ready for that gift. And now he has brought that gift to me, and I'm learning how to process it and what to do with it. Okay, so that's something totally different. But yes, so that is the stage that I'm in, is this bridge. And I feel like 2023, God had convicted me of a lot of things that I thought was just like not that big of a deal. I was just like, yeah, okay, like, whatever. This is just what I made. This is just life. Like, this is what we just do. There is no big deal about it. There is nothing to make a big deal out of. And I was just going through life or whatever. And at times I would know, like, oh, you shouldn't do this, or oh, like, this isn't the best thing, or oh, whatever, X, Y, and Z. But I would just continue because, like I said, it wasn't a big thing and it wasn't detrimental. Like, it wasn't the end of the world. However, it became the end of the world when God began to, like, convict me of certain things. And I'm not going to get into all of that right now, but God started convicting me of certain things in my life that I was doing. And I, at first, realized the conviction. And I feel like a lot of people around me never really spoke about, like, being convicted or God convicting you of something. And so I really did not know how to go about it. And so, I prayed and I really, really spoke to God about it. And I feel like September was really just a life-changing month for me altogether. There was so many changes happening in September, or changes were already occurring that I was falling into during September month and during the month of September. So, yeah, I feel like September was a time where God was starting to be like boom, 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 boom. And that was when what I've already realized I was being convicted on, like, God was like, okay, I knocked on your door very nicely. Like, I rung your doorbell, tried to wait for you to open up the door, but you're becoming hard-headed because you're choosing to just ignore what I'm literally laying out in front of you of what you're being convicted of, and you're deciding to just continue to go about it. And so, like, at that point, he had to, like, bang on my door, like, this is my last opportunity for you to open up the door. Like, I'm giving you one last chance. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, okay. When somebody banging at your door that you're like, I don't want to, like, why are you here right now? I don't want to deal with this. So that's how it was. And so, I just was like, okay, like, it's time to get real. Like, it's time to put, like, my childish ways to the side. Like, you're growing up, and not just, like, growing up far as age, but, like, you're growing up in your spiritual growth, and it's time for you to, like, mature. Like, there's things where you were able to get away with that was okay, you're still learning, you're still growing, boom, boom, boom. But now it's time for you to put those childish ways to the side. You cannot continue to use those as excuses anymore. You cannot continue to go about it as if it's nothing. If I am putting this big purpose in you, and I'm putting this big assignment inside of you for you to accomplish here on earth, like, how can you do that if you can't even put away these small things that you've already gone through and already overcame? Like, why do you continuously want to go through it again? So anyway, it was where I was basically just like, okay, it's time to open up the door. It's time to, like, get things in order. It's time for change to truly happen. And it wasn't beautiful. It wasn't nice. Like, honestly, it was very hard for me. Yeah, it was really hard at times. And also because I was going through a lot of things personally throughout that time as well. So I was trying to learn how to go through this and trying to figure out how can I heal from this, while also God is like, it's time for you to come into your new, and then you still have life. So there's so many things happening. You're trying to just figure out, how do I do all of this? How do I do this? I don't know. Like, there's no blueprint. There's nothing here. Yes, we have the Bible. Yes, we have people. And yes, those things, yes, people come in handy at specific times is not where you just can go run to people all the time. No, you have to go run to God first. And I was running to God, but there was nothing there. There was nothing. I didn't know what to do or what to say or anything. Then God was just like, it's time for you to fast. And I'm like, okay, this is nothing. Like, I've fasted before. And the crazy thing is, like, not too long ago. No, it was a month ago prior to that, where I had reached out to my cousin, like asking her about, understanding more about fasting, because I believe that sometimes we fast because it's the correct thing to do, or we fast because someone's telling us to do it, or we fast because we believe that we're supposed to do it, and honestly, being selfish. Like, I want to fast because I want God to answer this thing, or I want to fast because I need God to do this thing for me. And so all of those things come into play, and I was realizing that this fast is going to be a different type of fast. Yes, I'm going to give up things that I have possibly given up before, but the end goal was going to be something different than I've never imagined or never really put into words or understood. And so I knew the fast was going to be different for me, which required me to take it more serious. And I mean, I could have obviously made the choice to say, okay, I'm just going to do the fast, boom, 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 and be done with it. But it was, no, okay, God, I hear you loud, and I'm going to do this fast. And yes, I don't know, God, what I'm doing. God, help me, direct me through this fast to make sure that I'm doing everything properly the way that you see fit, so that I can receive what you are trying to pour into me. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to mess this up. Yes, I will have difficulty with it, and yes, it will be challenges, and I may make a mistake, but Lord, continue to just push me through, continue to direct me, and place people around me who will uplift me through this time. Remove people who will not uplift me through this time. And all of that, all of those different prayers, was like God was answering them. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, you said this? There you go. Oh, you said this? There you go. And I was like, okay. This is serious. Oh, this is big time serious. Okay. And so through that fast or whatever, I just started to really, really pray to God about a lot of things that was on my heart throughout that whole year, and things that I worried about and wasn't sure of and had hope for and belief in, but was too scared to do it. All of that started to just fall out. Like, my whole heart was just pouring out to God of all these things that I kept bottled in for so long. And he just started easily just opening my eyes. Baby girl, this is what you can do first. This is what you're going to do next. This is how this is going to go. And it became to a place where it was challenging still, and I was still trying to battle of trying to understand how to deal with this while also going through the other things that I was just saying and balancing everything in life. But it became not easy to get through, but it became wasn't easy. What's the word, y'all? It wasn't easy to get through, but it just became a little bit hopeful to get through it. And not just hopeful, but it became where at first it was hard because I was trying to walk on my own, to I allowed my hand to stretch and forgot to hold it. That's how it felt. It felt like God was literally holding my hand, and it made me feel at peace. It made me feel like I wasn't alone with it. And that's the difference. You could be fasting and God could be giving you things and you feeling alone. And so it's hard to continue it. But then if you're actually fasting and you're giving everything to God, and even though things may not come exactly how you want it or exactly on the time frame that you have it, God is opening your eyes to certain things, and you can feel his hand holding you and make you just feel like, oh, whew, it just make you feel so calm. Like literally you just feel like calm. And no matter what's surrounding you, what's happening, you feel like God is right here. I'm gonna be all right. And that's how I felt. So, throughout this bridge, let's bring it back. So, throughout this bridge time is me fasting and me balancing life and balancing personal things, and also starting to work on things that God was opening my eyes to, of my different purposes or my different assignments and goals that were placed inside of me so long ago that I've never wanted, that I was too afraid to really step out on faith and do. He was starting to form all of those things for me. And I just started to see that, okay, I am about to walk into something new. And it's hard because you can't explain it to everybody, especially if someone isn't on the same path as you or have already gone through a path like that. Then it's hard to explain it. And that's coming from a person who was just on that side, where if someone was explaining to me, I would be in awe for them, but I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the feeling that they were talking about, that peace that they were talking about, or that calmness. I wasn't understanding that feeling of God truly holding your hand. I wasn't understanding how can you feel so calm when literally like hell is breaking loose all around you in a way, so I was on that other side where I saw those things and did not understand. And so now I'm on this side of it, or walking through these things. And so I had to have that same humbleness and that same respect in a way for others who may not understand it. And knowing like, okay, they may not understand it, but don't get frustrated or don't try to force them to understand something that isn't for them to understand right now. Their time will come. Until their time comes, all you can do is just keep walking it out so that they can see when they get through it, or when they're starting to go through it. But you can't force anyone, or you can't explain things. Sometimes. All right. Before we continue our conversation, make sure to follow me on all of my personal social media accounts to stay updated on what I am doing. You can follow me on Instagram at _KiaZ, _KIAAZ. You can follow me on Facebook at Kia Brewer. You can follow me on Snapchat at FabulousKia_4, or you can follow me on TikTok as Zakia Brewer. But make sure that you follow our podcast page as well on Instagram as Zakia Chanel Podcast. Okay, so where do we leave off at? Sometimes when it comes to God, you can't explain certain things. Like it's just not, not when it comes to God, but just when God starts to bless you with certain things. Some blessings are not explainable. It's a blessing, and it's a blessing for you, not for that other person. And so sometimes they just truly won't understand. And then also just understanding like that I did not have to feel obligated to explain myself to other people. Like before, I used to feel so obligated. I have to tell this person this. I have to do this. I have to do that. To the point where it's like, no, you don't have to share anything. Not until God says it's okay to share with them, or it's okay for you to share with the world. All of that. Even when it comes to this podcast, I am very like careful of what I share, and not because, well, okay, half of me is because I'm just not open like that, but kind of push through that, or am working on that. But the other half is just understanding, like, of understanding my discernment and being obedient to the discernment that God has given me, where I just realized that, okay, I can't share this right now because it won't do you service to hear it and it not be completed, and now I'm just half giving you something. Just like I could be cooking you a meal and you're so hungry to get the meal, and I have to feel obligated to hurry up and give you this meal because you're so hungry that I have cooked the food. And so now you're eating it and you're sick because you were hungry, and I felt obligated to give it to you quickly, and now you're sick. So it didn't do you no good because now you're sick and you weren't able to enjoy your food. You're not able to now eat other food, or all of that comes into play. So that's literally the same thing of when it comes to blessings and discernments and sharing things with people through whatever season it is, not just the isolation season, not just this bridge season, or whatever season you're in. You have to understand and pray to God give you that discernment to know when to share and what to share and how to share and who to share it with. Like, that is so big because, like I just told you in the example, I can't just give you my testimony basically of what's happening, and God has not fully completed that part of that testimony. And so now you just have a half testimony that you're now about to go out and try to use to help guide you or help you, and then you don't complete what you're supposed to do successfully because you just took a half testimony from me because I was so eager to tell you something, or I wanted you to know so fast because I felt obligated that you needed to know. No. So that's just in life. Like, don't feel obligated to tell anybody anything, especially if you have that discernment and that feeling that you're not supposed to share. Like, be obedient to that. That feeling is not just there to just be there. It's there to help guide you on what to do, to help guide you on how to move. So you have to, like, just pay attention to that. So yeah, so that is a part of just like my bridge stage. And understanding, like, through this bridge that even though at the end it looks so beautiful and it looks so good, it does not mean that there's never going to be a hard time. That doesn't mean that things won't get confusing again. That doesn't mean that things won't be questionable or you're not sure of something. It just means that now you have the tools to understand how to go about it. Like, now I know, okay, this is how I'm going to go about it when I get through this, or when I go through this part, or when this appears again. And just knowing that with God, even when bad things are happening, God is still blessing me. And so just being able to still see the blessings in it throughout, even through the midst of the difficulties. And then I want to talk about this other part. So, because this is real. Through this bridge time, especially for me, because I'm still young, like I'm in my 20s, I'm still, fresh. And I've gone through it already, where what happens when things pop up from like the past, or not just things pop up from the past, but when old ways like pop up and you're walking into this new thing, like, what do you do? Like, how does that look? And honestly, y'all, some things are easier than others. Like, when certain things pop up that I know are, nah, I can't do this. I can't give my energy to this because it's going to backtrack me of where I'm trying to get with God. I just got to put my foot down, and it's easy to be like, all right, yeah, keep going. Like, because at the end of the day, like, I'm trying to get where God want me to go, like, because I'm trying to get to heaven. Period, point blank. Nothing else. Not no however, not no but. That's period at the end of that. Also, there are things where it's harder when things pop up because, like, it's life. So it's not even, like, it might not even be nothing, like, super big. It may just be something small, like, I don't know. What about, like, if God is trying to tell you, like, okay, you're not going to cuss anymore. You're not cussing at all, no more. And you like, easy peasy, like, you know, somebody call you with some stuff and you could easily just start popping off or going off or whatever. But it's easy for you to be like, you know what, I don't have the energy for it, or, you know, I'm gonna get back at you later and hang up and keep going about your day. Then it may be where you just in the car driving and somebody cut you off and now you bleep, 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 and you bleep, 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 bleep. And you realize, like, oh, wow, like, this happened so quickly and I easily fell back into my old ways and you couldn't even control it. You couldn't even, like, catch yourself and bring yourself back. Like, it could be as easy as that, simple as that, or it could be something totally different. But just, I think that the biggest thing is when those situations arise where you're put to the test, basically, of, okay, have you really gotten through this part, or can I reveal the next thing to you? You know, even if you make a mistake, I think the biggest thing is being aware of it and realizing it and asking God for forgiveness, and then praying that you don't fall into the same trap again. And you know, I've been reading the Bible a lot. Right now I'm reading it from beginning to end. And I'm in Chronicles right now. But just even with this, like, you see different kings in the Bible where they receive this honor to be a king, and some do it well and others kind of fail. They fall into the midst of wanting to look good for people and not look good for God. And then you have some who are like, I'm obedient to God, and what occurs, and you know, I'm all for God and God, 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 and then something small may happen and they didn't realize, but like they easily was disobedient to what God asked them not to do, and they didn't think it was that big of a deal, or they didn't realize that it was that big of a deal until God's like, now I'm not going to bless you in this way because you decided to be disobedient. And you have some kings who realize, oh, dang, I was just disobedient. Like, I just upset God. Like, I'm so sorry, God. Like, please forgive me. Like, I humbly, like, come to you and ask you to change my ways, or to, you know, give me another opportunity. If I do this again, if I get another opportunity, I want to do it again. And then you have some kings who are just like, oh well, like, I did it, and like, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. So, you know, you have so many different instances and so many examples, honestly, in the Bible that shows us exactly of this bridge stage where, you know, God has literally honored us with something. That's where I'm in. Like, God has honored me to be able to reveal some purpose, some assignments that He had for me in these next few seasons. And I'm at the point where I have to be like, yes to God. And when I say yes, I mean, I'm all in, God, for what you have. And yes, I might make mistakes, but, you know, I'm going to continue to grind it out. Or I have the option to say, like, okay, God, that looks cute, that looks nice, but yeah, I'm gonna stay right here where I'm at, cause I'm chilled. You know, I ain't doing too much. I ain't getting into too many things. I ain't been that sinful. You know, I think I'm straight where I'm at, you know? So we have that decision. Like, God has given us that chance to make that decision on our own of what we want to do. And, you know, you get to make that decision for yourself. but just know that consequences come with the decision that you make. So, decide wisely. And it's not easy. So that's really what I want to just talk about, is just like this bridge stage that I'm in, and just realizing like that it's not easy, but I've come so like, y'all, I've come so far that I am so proud of myself, and it feels so good to serve God the correct way. And I've realized that with this comes a lot of difficult things and challenges and stuff that, people don't understand, or that's not big to them, or don't seem like a big deal. But to me it is. And I have to be like, look, if you're not riding like how I'm riding, like, you know, I'm sorry. Like, you can't get with how I'm doing it, then I'm gonna keep doing me. Like, I ain't leaving you behind. You can easily come with me. Like, I ain't saying that you gotta do whatever. You can continue to do what you want to do, whatever the case is. But if you can't support me, basically, in the stage I'm in, and the stages I will be going into, you can't support me, then you won't need to be in my corner at all. And that's just on everything. So I think that that's just the biggest thing. Like I said, it's just like God has now given me that awareness. And with that awareness, He has given me tough skin. Like, I had tough skin before, but y'all, I used to be like a little like sensitive, but I wouldn't tell everybody. But like, yes, some things would just really, really affect me, or I would just be like ponder about it, like I'd just be sitting at home like, dang. But now I'm like, well, next thing then. Like, and it's nothing to it, but that's just what it is, like being serious. And it's just because, like, if you read the Bible, you know about being lukewarm, and that's scary. And I don't want to be lukewarm, you know? I want my blessings. I want everything that God has for me. I want to go to heaven, And so this is serious to me. Like, this is real life. And I take everything that is happening very serious. And that means that I understand that now. Like, I'm not living to satisfy other people. I'm here to satisfy and get the approval of God. And that does not mean look down on people and be rude to people and everything, like how some people be. It means that if somebody wants different for you, that does not look like what God wants for you, that you don't have to satisfy them. That you could easily say, no, I'm okay. And if you are in this stage with God and somebody is in this stage of God, that does not mean look down on them. That means pull them up. Like, pull them up, bring them along, support them, continue to just be you. Like, just continue to be you. Continue to be the authentic you, because at the end of the day, that's all people need. And that is when God shines the brightest on people, is when somebody is just being authentically themselves and not judging others or forcing people to be like how they want them to be, or how they see fit for someone to be. All of that. And just knowing like that you may make mistakes, but that's okay. And I think the other thing for me is that with being aware, I've also have become very intentional with this bridge stage. Like, I'm very intentional on everything I do, everything, every movement, everything I say, every word. Knowing like that people are connected to me, so I'm intentional on how I show up in places, how I show up in rooms. I can be having a really sad day, but like, I don't want that to fall on somebody else, because what about they need this from me? Or just understanding like that if I help someone, maybe it helps me in a way where I don't even realize it. Being intentional on who I allow around me, where I go, who I'm hanging with, um, what I am sharing with people, um, how much I allow people to see, being intentional on projects that I'm working on and not just doing it to just do it, but well, okay, what are you really trying to get out of this, or just understanding like, God, is your hand in this? If your hand is in it, I'm with it. If your hand is not in it, I'm not with it. So just being just trying to be very intentional on everything that I'm doing in life. Yeah, big time. Um, yeah. And then the last thing I would say probably is just that it's kind of like you see where you're gonna be at. Like God has given me the visual of like a vision of how this other side would look for me. And it's kind of low key, like a little like, ooh, like a little nervous, a little like, okay. But it's beautiful. It's so beautiful and it makes me excited, but also makes me a little nervous because it could be easily like swept away if I do something, if I fall backwards in any way. So just understanding like, God is gonna be there for me. He's gonna rock for me, and I'm not gonna be perfect. No one's perfect. But just being able, like God allowing me to see a vision of where I would be. And it's kind of like blurry. So if that makes sense, I guess for people who like, there's no disrespect, y'all. But like for people who like can't really see or whatever, like, how it is before you gotta put your glasses on. Like you can see it, but it's a little blurry, but you like, ah, if I close this one eye and keep this one eye open, I can see a little bit better of what's happening, but it's still a little blurry. That's how I feel. Like I could see it, but it's a little blurry. But okay, God, I got a little vision of it, so we good, we good, we good. That's how I feel. And then yeah, so this bridge stage is, I feel like, every emotion possible. Sometimes I'm like very happy and excited. Other times I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is just harder than what I thought. Then it's times where it's just like, I'm just trying to balance it all, God. Like how do I do this on a daily basis? Like, please help me. So yeah, I think that's everything. Let's see. Oh, wait. Okay, so there are two things that I did really, really want to share with y'all. And it goes into like me just talking about how I've been really through like every emotion possible through this time. But like internally I feel like at peace or like calm about certain stuff. And I wanted to share these two songs that God has really placed in my heart. It's more than honestly these two songs. There's a third song. So I'm going to share all three songs for you all to go listen to. But I'm not going to go in depth or anything because maybe I'll save it for like another episode. But I just want to tell y'all what songs have helped me through my process. And to also explain of where I'm at. Because, I think it's good to worship God and to listen to gospel music sometimes help to explain things that you can't formally explain yourself, or you're trying to explain but you can't really put the words all out there. Sometimes a song can help you. So anyway, the first song is called Worth It by James Fortune. Yo, like, this is literally my song. Like, when I say my jam, it literally is. But it basically just saying like that things will be worth it at the end. Like that, when you see why he did not say yes. So sometimes God did not say yes for a reason. But once you get to this other side, you're going to see that it was worth it. Just saying that, you know, God is going to reveal certain things. So here's a little thing. When you see what God's doing in this, it will be worth it. When you see why he did not say yes, it will be worth it. On the other side of every test, it's always worth it. I know he has not revealed it yet. Just know that it's worth it. Like, literally, that, y'all, that is what I am going through. Like, he has not revealed everything, but it's going to be worth it. And that's all I keep reminding myself when times get difficult, when times are hard, that everything is going to be worth it. When I don't know, God, how am I going to get through this next thing? It's going to be worth it. It is going to be worth it when you get to that next side, y'all, I promise. And that is exactly how I feel, you know. This song, oh my God, like I literally want to sing the whole thing. But when I sing, because I can't sing, but, you know, read it. Anyway, this is the song. And then the other song that's really been good is For Your Good by Maverick City. Period. I love them. But yeah, so For My Good, oh, I wanna, so this song, For Your Good, just really, well, it's not For Your Good, For My Good. It really just explains that God did everything for your good. You know, sometimes you may not understand why he did what he did. It may hurt. It may be questionable. Why God? Why did you do this? But it was for your good. And it says, I'm going to skip some stuff. Nothing is wasted in your hands. God, you didn't forsake me, and I know you never will. There is beauty in the ashes. There is a peace within the storm, and there is a song for every season. So don't stop singing on and on until you see the sun, because it was all working for my good. So, like, y'all, that mud is fire. Literally fire. What? So don't stop singing on and on until you see the sun, because it was all working for my good. Literally, that's how I feel. Like, there is a song for every season. And like I said, the songs help you explain the season that you're in when you don't know how to explain it to people, or when you don't know how to explain it for yourself. And then the last song, y'all, I can just do a whole episode about like every song, baby. Because if y'all want my gospel playlist, oh my gosh, my gospel playlist fire. And then I have my Christian rap gospel list that I listen to when I be working out, fire as well. So y'all let me know if y'all want me to share my playlist with y'all. Like, I don't mind. It's pretty good. I'm a put one. I'm trying to create one that's just more of like a worship playlist. I haven't had time for me to be able to do that, but that is in the works. Anyway, the last song, y'all, is my jam as well. Evidence by Naomi. Baby, she sing this thing down. But it just says, you got evidence. You are the living proof that I keep promises and my word won't fail. Like, it's us telling God that it's evidence that everything that you do for us, I see it. But then it's God talking back to us and say that you're evidence, that everything that I've brought you through is evidence to somebody that they can get through it. It just says that I keep promises and my won't. No, I don't want to sing this part. You always keep your word. Oh, you always keep your word. That's what you do. That's what you do. Because we've got evidence. We're the living proof. You keep promises and your word won't fail. We've got evidence. We're living proof. You keep your promises and your word won't fail. So yes, those are my 3 songs. Worth It by James Fortune, Evidence by Naomi, and For My Good by Maverick City. There's some other songs that has been really, really good. that has been on my heart through this time. But those are my 3 songs that really, really been speaking to me, especially like not this past week, but like this past 2 to 3 weeks, been really like hitting. So anyway, before I end, I want to go ahead and do my run and tell that for this episode.
Run and tell that, run and tell that, run and tell that, homeboy.
So my run and tell that would be that this bridge season is so beautiful. Being able to know that God is going to reveal everything on the other side, but knowing that there's stages to it and that every stage looks different. Not one stage just like the other stage. One stage may be all beautiful and butterflies and sunshine, and another stage may be isolation and difficulty and challenges. Another stage may be where you're living, where you're got a lot of good going on in your life, but a lot of things that may not be so good going on, and trying to understand the balance of both. And then there's other times where through this time where God is just revealing who you are and placing assignments on you that you gotta complete, that you have to achieve, that you want to say yes to. And so just know that be soft with yourself. Give yourself grace through it. Know that everything is not going to fall into place. Know that you're not going to get everything right. You're not going to get everything right. But to continue to pray, continue to ask for forgiveness, continue to ask God to change your heart after that, so that you truly, truly, truly switch and shift things. You know, we don't want to ask for forgiveness and continue to do the same thing in a cycle. We want to ask for forgiveness and that he turns that around, and to also just be evidence for other people, show other people, be like literally like a walking billboard of God, and showing that you can be young and be a Christian and believe in God and still have fun and still do things. And yeah, so that is my run and tell that. And I thank you all for joining me in another episode. Before I end, I do want to shout out my cousin that does all different type of like clothes, sweatshirts, sweatpants. Also, I got her bracelets on too. That's crazy. I wasn't planning on it. But yeah, so these are her bracelets. These are like one of her first kinds that she did. But she has some really, really dope ones that she do as well. I'm going to put her Instagram in probably at the bottom, or in the bio for YouTube, and in the bio for all of my streaming platforms that you all listen to. But on Instagram, I am Flavor, or I am Flava. And then this is one of her shirts. So this one is the Pretty Chocolate Brown Skin Girl. She got man clothing as well. She has like some that says like Female Hustler, I am Flavor, like all different kinds. So please, please, please go support my cousin, because she's the best. And honestly, y'all, like anybody who has bought her stuff know, like her stuff don't fall off. We don't do that around here. Like what? You can wash it, throw it in a dryer, hang it up, whatever you decide to do, and it will still come out flawless, new as if you just got it. So anyway, thank you all again for joining the episode, and I will see you all in the next one. Love you all, and continue to be you. Peace. Hey, don't leave me hanging. Before you leave, make sure that you subscribe to Zakia Chanel Podcast. You can listen to my podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, and SoundCloud. Or you can go over to Zakia Chanel TV on YouTube to listen and watch the podcast. Looking for someone to host your event, or you want to learn how to start your own podcast, or you need organizing tips, I'm your girl. You can contact me via email. You can also reach out to me via email if you need any advice on anything. at Zakia Chanel Podcast at gmail.com. Remember, it starts with you. Be blessed and take care of yourself. Whether it's a no or a yes, you're still mine. Check one, check two. Oh, shoot.